Pirates were men who feared nothing. They braved storms, defied empires, and faced death with a cutlass in hand. Yet even these ruthless souls whispered about one object with trembling voices, a chest they dared not open. To them, treasure was life itself, but there were tales of certain chests that promised more than gold. They promised death, curses, and eternal damnation. Imagine a chest heavy with riches, bound in iron, locked with symbols no pirate could read. Its presence alone stirred unease among the crew. For every pirate who dreamed of fortune, there were others who swore that to open such a chest was to invite doom. Some said it contained stolen relics cursed by priests. Others believed it held black magic from distant lands. There were whispers of poison gases waiting to choke whoever lifted the lid, or hidden blades that struck like fangs. In the flicker of lantern light, men stared at these forbidden chests and felt fear greater than any battle. The bravest captains argued whether to smash them open or cast them into the sea. Some were too greedy to resist, and their fate was often sealed. For when the cursed chest was opened, strange misfortunes followed, sudden sickness spreading through the ship, storms erupting out of calm skies, and entire crews turning against one another in madness. The chest became a symbol of the sea's cruelest bargain, wealth beyond imagination at the price of one's soul. It was said even Blackbeard himself refused to open certain Spanish chests, believing they carried the mark of the devil. This is the story of the chest that pirates feared. Treasure so sinister that gold and jewels were not worth the cost of opening them. A tale of greed, curses, and the chilling truth that sometimes the greatest danger is not what lies outside, but what waits to be unleashed within. Every pirate legend begins with discovery, and so did the tales of the dreaded chest. These chests were never ordinary plunder. They were often found deep in the holds of captured Spanish galleons, hidden behind barrels of sugar and crates of silver. Unlike other treasures, these chests were different, sealed tight with iron bands, covered in strange carvings, and sometimes chained as if even their former owners feared what was inside. Stories spread that Spanish priests and conquistadors carried such chests from the New World, filled not just with gold, but with relics stolen from temples and sacred grounds. Some were said to contain Aztec idols bathed in blood, or Incan curses carved in stone. When pirates stormed these ships, they fought like demons for the treasure. But even the boldest paused when their eyes fell upon one of these heavy, ominous boxes. The discovery of such a chest was a moment of triumph mixed with unease. The crew would drag it into the open, breathless from the weight, their eyes glowing with greed. Yet with each thud of iron against the deck, silence fell. Whispers spread quickly. Men swore they heard faint rattling inside, as though bones shifted within. Others claimed the wood felt warm to the touch, as if it were alive. Captains faced a choice: smash it open and risk whatever curse lingered, or throw it overboard and watch their fortune sink with it. More often than not, greed won, but every discovery came with a price. Ships that carried such a chest often sailed into storms, their crews struck by sudden fevers or vanished altogether. The chest's discovery was never the end of the tale. It was only the beginning, the start of fear that would slowly consume every man aboard. Word of the cursed chest spread faster than any ship could sail. In taverns thick with smoke and rum, sailors whispered of boxes found on Spanish galleons, locked with seals no man should break. These were not treasures meant for mortal hands. They were warnings, disguised as wealth. Some legends claim the chests were filled with gold stolen from sacred temples in the New World, cursed by priests who vowed that anyone who touched it would suffer madness or death. Others believed they contained relics of witchcraft, charms, bones, and vials of strange powders brought from distant lands. More terrifying still were the stories of chests that, when opened, released nothing at all. Nothing but an invisible plague that swept through a crew like wildfire. Pirates were not superstitious without reason. They lived each day with death at their side, and the sea had already taught them that fortune was never free. Men swore they saw ghostly figures guarding these chests at night, pale hands gripping the locks, eyes burning in lantern light. A few even claimed the chests whispered in the dark, promising riches for those who dared to open them, but demanding their souls in return. Captains argued fiercely when one was found. Some said fortune favored the bold, that no curse could frighten men who had already defied kings. Others urged to throw the chest into the sea before its curse consumed them all. What terrified the crew most was not the gold inside, but the unknown. What if the stories were true? And so the chest became more than treasure. It became a riddle of survival. To open it was to risk death. To leave it closed was to live in fear. and every whisper, every rumor, only added to the dread. For those reckless enough to break the seals and pry open the chest, fortune did not greet them, only horror. Legends say that the moment the lid creaked open, misfortune poured out like a poison fog. Some accounts tell of sudden sickness striking the crew. Men who had been strong one evening awoke the next day with fever burning their skin and eyes clouded with madness. They vomited black bile, their bodies rotting as though cursed by unseen hands. No medicine or prayer could save them, and soon the healthy turned on the sick, fearing the curse would spread. Other tales speak of unnatural storms summoned by the opening of the chest. A calm sea would explode into fury, lightning splitting masts, waves dragging men into the abyss. Survivors swore that the storms carried voices, whispering the names of the doomed crew. And then there were stories darker still. Some said that when the chest was opened, ghostly figures stepped forth, soldiers of the dead, or spirits bound to protect the treasures within. These phantoms brought terror greater than cannon fire. Pirates swore their cutlasses passed through air, while the ghostly hands of the dead dragged them screaming into shadows. Perhaps the most feared curse of all was madness. Crews who opened the chest sometimes turned on each other, their minds unraveling. Men stabbed their brothers over scraps of food, captains leapt into the sea, and ships descended into chaos until none remained alive. To the world, these were only stories. But to pirates who live by risk and greed, the pattern was undeniable. Those who opened the cursed chest rarely lived to tell the tale. And so it became a law of the sea. There are treasures not meant to be touched. To pirates, treasure was everything. Yet the cursed chest was different. For once, greed met hesitation. Every man aboard the ship knew that whatever hid behind that lock could bring either fortune or doom. The chest sat in the captain's cabin, glinting faintly in lantern light. Its surface was etched with symbols no pirate could read. Some said the carvings were warnings from ancient priests. Others believed they were marks of a Spanish sorcerer. Still, gold called louder than fear. The captain ordered his men to prepare. Iron rods, pistols, even buckets of seawater in case the thing caught fire. Some pirates sharpened blades nervously while others prayed quietly. Something unheard of aboard a pirate ship. When the chest finally creaked open, it revealed more than coins and jewels. Small glass vials filled with strange powders, golden idols crusted with dried blood, and a parchment sealed with red wax bearing the emblem of a skull. Before anyone could celebrate, one pirate screamed. The vials had cracked, releasing a thick, choking vapor. Men coughed violently. One fell dead before his body hit the deck. Panic erupted. Was it poison? A trap set by the chest's last owners? The captain, desperate, ordered the chest sealed again, but the damage was done. It was then they realized the chest wasn't made to guard treasure. It was designed to protect the world from what was inside. Perhaps it was ancient disease, perhaps sorcery, perhaps something worse. The sea outside roared as if in agreement. The pirates' laughter turned to silence. What they thought was gold had become their grave. On the open ocean, surrounded by endless waves, they learned the cruelest truth. Not all treasure is meant to be found. Among the countless tales of cursed treasure, a few stand above all. Stories of pirate captains so feared that even death could not silence their greed. The most infamous of them all was Blackbeard. Ruthless, cunning, and drenched in legend, Blackbeard was said to have hidden dozens of chests across the Caribbean. But one in particular was unlike the rest. Sailors claimed it was a black chest bound in chains, sealed by the captain himself with wax and blood. It was said that whoever dared to open it would awaken the spirits of his victims, the hundreds of men he'd slain in cold blood. After Blackbeard's death in 1718, his crew scattered, and that chest was never found. But those who hunted for it met grim fates: ships lost to storms, captains gone mad, crews disappearing overnight. The sea, it seemed, guarded his secret well. Other legends tell of Spanish treasure chests recovered from wrecks, filled with jewels but cursed by monks who blessed them with death instead of fortune. A few were even found by later pirates, their contents glowing faintly in darkness, as if alive. No man who kept them lived long. Then there were tales of the blood chest of Tortuga, buried by a pirate queen said to have poisoned her own men before sealing their souls inside. Locals whispered that the sand above the spot still turned red when the tide rose. These stories may be myths, but for sailors and pirates alike, they were warnings carved into history. Every cursed chest told the same truth. Greed was the sea's cruelest weapon. For every gold coin, there was a grave waiting beneath the waves. And somewhere, even now, the ocean keeps those chests, locked, silent, and waiting for the next fool brave enough to seek them. Centuries have passed, yet the legend of the cursed pirate chest still drifts across the tides, a warning whispered by the sea itself. To the modern world, it's just a story, but to those who sail beneath dark skies and crashing waves, it remains a truth carved into ocean memory. For pirates, greed was both their strength and their curse. They ruled by the sword, defied kings, and hunted treasure across every horizon. But some riches were never meant to be taken. Those who opened forbidden chests discovered that gold could cost more than life. Their ships sank, their crews vanished, and their names became ghostly echoes that haunt sailors even now. The fear of cursed treasure reshaped pirate lore forever. Captains began to mark certain chests with symbols of warning, crosses, skulls, or melted wax seals. Some ordered them thrown overboard the moment they were found. Others buried them deep within remote islands, ensuring no man could ever disturb them again. The idea of the treasure you must never touch became part of pirate culture, passed down through generations like scripture written in blood and salt. Even now, divers and explorers claim to hear strange sounds from shipwrecks, faint knocking beneath the waves, as if something still waits to be freed. Are these sounds the sea shifting, or the restless spirits of pirates guarding their cursed gold? One thing remains certain: every legend begins with truth, and whether it was disease, poison, or something darker, the cursed chests taught mankind the same lesson over and over: that greed has a price, and the ocean always collects its due. The sea remembers everything, and somewhere beneath its endless depths, the chest that even pirates feared still waits.